Well, Sonic X Shadow Generations released. I don't have the physical version yet, but I played and beat both of the games through the digital deluxe version on my PlayStation 4, and my god, they did extremely good. Like, this Sonic game, I think, is probably up there with one of my favorite Sonic games ever. Not really the Generations portion, although that was probably the definitive way to play this game, and honestly, I love it. So good. Um, but the Shadow Generations part was the main part of the game, obviously, and they did such a great job with both of these, but they did such a great job with that version of the game. And honestly, yeah, you should buy it. Um, amazing game. Seriously, uh, like I don't know. I'm just losing words here. I can't really think of stuff, but like Ian Flynn, he better write the next, or literally all the next Sonic games from now on, because he did amazing with Sonic Frontiers. He did so freaking good with Shadow Generations, and honestly, the rewritten story in Sonic Generations, my goodness, like, this story sucked. I hate a lot of the characterizations in this game, especially Amy. They did Amy horrible in this game. I don't know why, but they fixed her. They made her her authentic self. I love that. As you all know, I'm a huge Amy Rose fan. I try not to let that spoil other Sonic stuff. Like, I do have a respect for the Archies, and I do I do think the Sad AM cartoon is okay, but you know, I'm always gonna be a Son Amy and Amy Rose fan. But they really fixed Amy Rose in this game, and yeah, I mean, this is post Frontiers. Sorry, this is this is before Sonic Frontiers, so um, she is still not as matured. But honestly, I feel like she should be at least this matured from the get go. Cause it. I mean, if they ever do a Sonic Adventure 1 and 2 and a Sonic Heroes remake, which I'm pretty sure they're gonna do a Sonic Heroes remake eventually, I have a very strong feeling that they're gonna rewrite Amy to a more mature, at um like herself, her modern self and stuff. Maybe still have her a little like fangirly, because it is still early in the franchise, but like I'm pretty sure Ian Flynn's gonna do an amazing job, because I mean, he does amazing with the IDW comics. Like, those are some of the best Sonic comics in my opinion. I think he did some of the Archie comics. Those were pretty good, as much as I don't like the Sonic Archie comics. And I mean, yeah. But anyways, the gameplay of Generations, I'm gonna do Generations first, is really not that different. I mean, the controls are set to a different control type. The boost is a trigger now, just like for Sonic Frontiers, so that's kind of cool. You can change it, though, just like Colors Ultimate, where you can change the controls. But honestly, the game looks just as good as the 360 version. If you're playing the original 360 version through an Xbox Series X or S, like, it looks basically the same, just a little brighter and a little more colorful. It runs so smooth, like, really. Even Shadow Generations runs really smooth. And I mean, the added Chow is really cool. Like, it's fun to collect those. Like I said, I love the new characterizations and the new story. I love how they combined Shadow and Sonic Generations. Like, that was really cool. I only experienced one bug when I played through Generations, which was in the Death Egg battle. Um, I I accidentally, I don't know what I did, but the arm, when I hit the button to try to get it to hit the bomb, when I had that happen, the arm would go back, and it wouldn't allow me to jump on the arm, because the arm wasn't there to jump on. But I just reset the game and it was fine. So I think they might have fixed it because I think they updated the game, so that probably was fixed. I did play it like literally right when it like released. I have a screenshot I'm probably gonna put up in editing right here, where as you can see, I played it like on the exact date when it released, October 22nd, right at 11, because it was 11 where I was when it released. It was like 11:01 when I played. And I beat it. I beat Sonic Generations in around like 2-ish hours, and I beat Shadow Generations in like 3.5 hours. You know, uh, decently long games. I feel like most games nowadays are, a little longer than they should be. Some of them are a little dragged on. And I can say that some modern Sonic games were either way too short or just a little too long. I'm looking at Sonic Boom Rise of Lyric. That game was extremely long, mainly because of how boring it was. But yeah, or at least it just felt very long. I don't know if it was actually that long, but because I haven't like fully beaten the game, but I'm very close to beating it, and it feels like it's taken forever to get to the point I am in that game. But yeah, Sonic Generations, definitely the definitive way to play this. If you haven't played it yet, play this version. I mean, there's really no need to play this version anymore. So it doesn't bother me that much that they delisted the original. Of course, it's kind of sad because like a piece of history's gone. But I mean, you can still buy a PlayStation 3, a Xbox 360, and play the original. And if you can't do that, I mean, there's still a way to play the original on Xbox Series X and PC, and I think maybe even PS5, where it's just in a bundle with a bunch of other Sonic games, so you can still play it. But yeah, now Shadow Generations. This, oh my word, so amazing. I'm not even that big of a Shadow person, but like I had a huge smile on my face the whole time. The amount of references and callbacks in this game, even in the original Generations rewrite. But this game, so cool. I loved every moment of it. The boost formula, I think, is some of the best of the boost formula. Probably up there with Unleashed, because Unleashed is an amazing game. The stages were spectacular. Like seriously. First there's the Ark, which is amazing. It was really cool to see the Ark come back from Space Colony Ark from Sonic Adventure 2. That was really cool. And then is Real Canyon from Sonic Heroes. That was actually really cool. And it actually kind of was making me think this is probably how a Sonic Heroes remake or remake would look. And that made me even more excited. Like if Sonic Team is given the right budget from Sega, I think they could really pull off a Sonic Heroes remake, because that game is amazing regardless. Like the original is a spectacular game. I love that game. But honestly, that would be really cool. And then Kingdom Valley from Sonic 06 was really cool to see. That stage I was pretty hyped for, because I recently I'm almost done with Sonic 06, and I recently just got through the Kingdom Valley portions of both Sonic and Shadow Story, so that was pretty cool because I just freshly played them, and being able to play a remake of those stages was really cool. And then there's Sunset Heights from Sonic Forces, and I think that's like the biggest my smile has ever been playing a game, because like I wanted to love Sonic Forces, like I really did, but my goodness, that game was awful no matter what. I mean, it was just boring, and I mean, you already know what I'm probably gonna say because every Sonic fan ever has already said this about Forces, but you can beat it so fast. I mean, seriously, and you can really only just you can beat it with barely touching any other button than just the boost button. I've attempted it myself. It really basically is true. Um, but I mean, that stage, that is literally how Sonic Forces should have been. That is how it should have been. Like that stage was so freaking good. I loved it, and it looked beautiful. And I love how they were able to like the art style of this game. They were able to make it look beautiful and still have like an art style and a cartoony like a cartoony aesthetic, and I really liked that. That was pretty cool because a lot of games are hyper realistic now, and it kind of just feels like a little overwhelming with how over realistic basically every game is. That's why I really enjoy the Sonic universe and stuff because it's a lot more fictional and a lot more like cartoony and stuff. But yeah, and then you have a real amazing stage because this comes from one of my favorite Sonic games ever, which is Sonic Frontiers Chaos Island. I was not actually expecting this stage to come into the game, although I was a little spoiled early on because I did know that the stage was going to be in it, but before I knew, like I wasn't expecting it. Like a few weeks before Sonic X Shadow Generations released, I saw a couple of Sonic news channels talking about the new soundtracks, like the leaked soundtracks that Sega put out. So not really leaked, but also kind of. And one of them was from Chaos Island, and there was also some gameplay footage I think leaked or put out. I can't remember if it was leaked or not. So I did know that was coming, but it still was an amazing experience. I loved it. The Doom Power, the Doom Squid, I think it was called the Doom Squid. It was a little difficult to control, but honestly, I got used to the controls, and it was actually really fun to try to master. It was really fun. Um, I I actually really did like the remix of the music, both remix for both acts, and it was really good because it's a Sonic game. But all the music in every Sonic game except for like Sonic Chronicles is spectacular music. But that also brings me to something else. This game hardly has well, okay, it doesn't hardly, but it has just the right amount of 3D and just the right amount of 2D. Act 1 is entirely 3D without any 2D elements, which is really cool to see that they were able to pull off that because basically every Boost Sonic game from uh, from Sonic Unleashed, Colors, the original generations, and Forces, they all had 2D segments in the 3D parts. Um, which did kind of make the game a little more playable and stuff and a little longer, I'd assume. But, it's a 3D Sonic game, not a 2D Sonic game. Although I did appreciate them. But Act 2 is where you get the 2D. And they stick with 2D. And it's really cool. And they're all almost different, like different settings. So, like in Sunset Hills, or Sunset Heights, I think it's called. I don't know. My mind is blanking out. But in the first act, it's the sunset, like in the base game, and then in the second act, it's all cloudy and rainy, and that's really cool. On the space colony arc, it's kind of the same as Act Two, so not really anything different there. But in Chaos Island, it's like you're in a different part of the island, which is really cool. I recognized most of the locations since I've spent probably over 100 hours in Sonic Frontiers, and I love running around Chaos Island. I know, kind of weird to say. I know a lot of people don't really like Chaos Island because of all the random 2D sections in it, but honestly, I just love grinding on the rails once I have the whole thing mapped. I love doing that, and I love just exploring it, collecting all the cocoa and stuff. But that was a really amazing stage. You kind of go from all the different parts of the island, like the major parts from the story. And then Kingdom Valley, the first act is like going through the fields and like the water areas, and that's really cool. Like using the Doom Surf and the little air rails from the original game. And then Act 2 is like you're going through the castles and stuff, like inside the castle. It's really cool. And then the boss fights. The boss fights are really cool. The Bio Lizard, really cool. Although it did actually really creep me out. The Bio Lizard was kind of hyper realistic, and it really freaked me out. I was actually a little uncomfortable fighting that thing. It kind of scared me, and I'm kind of ashamed to say that. And then Metal Overlord, that was so cool. I loved the original Metal Overlord fight in Sonic Heroes. Although, I mean, it was pretty cool, but I mean, they could have done maybe a little more. But for a game that released in 2003 or 2004, it was pretty good. Although I don't know why Tails and Knuckles didn't go super. They have super forms, as we know in Sonic 3 and Knuckles. Um, but I don't know. I don't think any of us will know why Knuckles, at least Knuckles didn't go super. But anyways, that was really cool. I loved the gimmick of being on the Doom Surf and having to knock back the barrels and stuff. And then, oh, and then him throwing, like, the Egg Fleet ships at you. That was really cool. And this, just him having, Metal Sonic having voice lines again. Like, that was really cool to hear him speak again, because I honestly really love Metal Sonic. He comes from one of my other favorite Sonic games, Sonic CD, which also had Amy Rose introduced for the first time in a game, not in the franchise, but in a game, which I love. So that was really cool. And then Mephiles. Mephiles was actually, like, I loved Mephiles. I kind of liked him in the original, but I really like him in this game. Um, he was really cool. His new voice actor did honestly a pretty good job. Like he sounded like not exactly the same, but he did a really good job, and I loved his voice. He sounded really cool, and his design, a little spruced up from the original game, and just I liked his boss fight. His boss fight was really fun. It wasn't the most engaging, but it was really good. I liked it. Um, and then what else was there? Oh yeah, Devil Doom. Devil Doom was really cool. I did struggle a lot on the squid part because I wasn't holding the button down, or something. I couldn't hit him on the last part, the last hit, but I eventually somehow hit him and beat him. And then it goes from the surfing area to the squid part, and then you go to the wings section. I forget what the wings are called, like Doom Wings or Doom Hover or something. But that was really cool. It was kind of cool and kind of odd to finish a Sonic related game without a Super Sonic or Super Shadow boss fight, because almost every single Sonic game, I think even Knuckles Chaotix and the Tails Adventure games on the Game Gear, I haven't played them in a long time. It's been like since 2021 or 2020 since I've played them. Um, I haven't, well, I actually haven't played Knuckles Chaotix, but I've watched a playthrough of Knuckles Chaotix. But I have played the Game Gear game, Tails games. And I don't remember a Super Sonic fight, but yet again, it's been 2 to 3 years since I've seen that gameplay footage and played those two games. So I don't know, but the original 2005 Shadow had a super boss fight ending, and that was really cool. But you know, I love the final boss anyways. It was really cool, pretty engaging. I loved it, and and I don't know if I talked about the story already, but I'm just gonna keep it short. Ian Flynn did an amazing job, and yeah, I now remember. I think I did talk about this already, but yeah, the collectibles were amazing. There's so many collectibles in that game. There's a couple added collectibles in Generations, and in in Shadow Generations, there is a bunch of collectibles, and they were so cool to collect and get. I haven't gotten all of them yet, but I'm pretty close to getting all of them. But some of the stuff there is so cool. There's like concept art and like just music and art from like games like Sonic Battle for the GBA and stuff like that. Just more obscure, rare Sonic games. And they show off a bunch of like concept art from other games. They have like the storylines of all the mainline Sonic games that Shadow has been in. So like the original 2005 game, SA2, Shadow the Hedgehog, Heroes, 06, and Forces. That was really amazing, and I loved it. I loved collecting all this stuff. As a diehard Sonic fan, it was really amazing to see this stuff, because I've basically played and beaten almost all those games, besides for like Shadow the Hedgehog. I know I haven't played that game yet. I need to find it. It's kind of pricey. But besides for that, like, it is amazing. Like, I highly recommend getting this game. If you haven't gotten it yet, I hope you really enjoy it. And if you don't want to play this for some reasons, like the rewriting of the story, I mean, I can understand that, but it's kind of dumb. Like, this game is amazing. You're kind of missing out. But yeah, hope you all enjoyed the game, or enjoy the game if you haven't played it yet. And yeah, I love Sonic the Hedgehog, and this is why. This game was amazing. And I'm not even a big Shadow fanboy, but like, oh my god, this game, like, it definitely deserved the 8 or 9 out of 10 that IGN gave them. I mean, Moist Critical even said it was an amazing game, and that's a lot, coming from Penguin Zero, like, seriously. But yeah, see you guys later. Bye.